Previously on X-Men.
In an unexpected electoral victory, Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime, is declared the mayor of New York City, despite a controversial concern of election fraud. William Wilder finds his reputation damaged by news that his own daughter is a mutant, and he begins to retreat from public life. Victor and Luna are convicted of multiple violent charges and the killing of a police officer, and are sentenced to the maximum security super prison known as the Raft. The year is 1989. It's been 2 years, well, almost 2 years, since the fateful events of that election. And as life goes on for month by month for each of the other members of the X-Men, they find themselves largely disconnected from their friends who have been taken, imprisoned, and essentially disappeared somewhere beneath the ocean. Who knows where? And I realize that I have... There we go. Music was playing through a different audio source. It's been a really long time, but back at the X Mansion, life continues much the same. Some of you may have been gone for a while. And some of you may have been living in that tumultuous chaos of higher learning and care and being open to embracing other people and their different ways of life, and also to be embraced for that and have a place where you're safe despite all of the anti-mutant sentiment that goes on around the world. Why don't you tell us what you've been doing with your time, Alex Mercer, sorry.
That is a dude, but not this dude. Alright. When the Days of Future Past timeline was shattered, the future didn't disappear, it bled. Alex Mercer carries fragments of a world that no longer exists. They come as flashes and half memories, disjointed and incomplete. But through Rachel Summers and Katerina Savoya, both grew up in that doomed future and were tossed back to 1987 when Master Mold fell and time recoiled. Alex learned the truth. These aren't visions of what will be, they're remnants of what was. In that erased future, he remembers pieces of having watched X-Men die, heroes he now sees alive, training, laughing, unaware. He remembers fragments of relationships forged under fire and desperation, compressed by war. But one memory stands apart. One doesn't blur. Alex remembers Victor Savoya's death. He remembers the moment, the aftermath, the certainty that he was too late. So when the timeline changed and Victor and Luna were still taken, Alex couldn't let go. Because to him, it wasn't the first time Victor was lost, it was the second. Over the next 2 years, Alex chased every lead. He tracked rumors, supply routes, and black site movements. He planned rescues that should have worked. One came agonizingly close alongside Holly Wilder and Forge, tagging a courier sub and following it across halfway across the globe, only to arrive minutes too late. But someone saw the cost before it consumed him. Jane Mercer recognized what the chase was doing to her son. how every conversation bent back towards the raft, how saving his friends had quietly become the measure of his worth. So she insisted he accompany her on a Doctors Without Borders deployment, framing it as practical, even necessary. She said she would need him for protection. She didn't. What Alex gained there was perspective. In refugee camps and crisis zones, far from headlines and heroics, he learned that not every problem could be fought, and that carrying responsibility didn't mean carrying everything alone. There, Jane finally told him the truth about Strike, about finding him as a child, about stealing him away to save him, and about another individual, Roma, who warned Alex's life would be shaped not by destiny but by choices. When Alex returned, Marty and Tiffany helped keep him grounded. On one mission with Marty that saved many, but not all, when one mutant was gravely injured beyond their ability to heal, Alex reminded them and himself that life doesn't just happen to us. We define it by what we choose to carry forward. That moment helped both Marty and Alex choose a new path, to not flee the pain, but to grow beyond it. It's September 1989. Alex Mercer is still standing.
And perhaps Alex finds himself in the mansion, in that parlor where he used to eat those little triangle sandwiches without the crusts with his friends. And new children are there who are much the same as the memories of he and his friends from old. But he's a little wiser. And perhaps as he looks across the hallway and sees the kitchen, he may have noticed Holly, who is returned there. And what's Holly been doing for the last several years?
Hey, so between 1987 and 1989, Holly withdrew steadily from life at the mansion, where once she had been surrounded by other mutants, she began spending more and more time alone, buried in books, notes, and research. She read obsessively law, history, mysticism, case studies on mutant registration and incarceration. Her absences grew longer, presence quieter. When she was at the mansion, she often felt like a ghost moving through familiar halls. In 1988, Marty left to pursue their own study. Their departure marked a turning point for Holly, reinforcing the sense of isolation never fully acknowledged. Around the same time, during a series of private meetings with Professor Xavier, discussions about Holly's unusual relationship to other powers led him to suspect something deeper at work. Acting on that intuition, he arranged for her to meet Amanda Sefton to confirm what he believed might be a latent magical affinity. By then, Holly's days were rigidly structured. She enrolled in pre-law courses, attending lectures and seminars during the day with meticulous focus. In the evenings, she disappeared quietly, meeting Amanda in secret to train in magic. The work was demanding and dangerous, far beyond what most beginners would attempt. Holly approached it with relentless determination. Magic became another thing to master, not for ambition, but for survival. Throughout this period, Holly remained consumed by the search for Victor and Luna. She participated in numerous attempts to locate them, all unsuccessful. One mission, undertaken with Alex, brought her agonizingly close. They were within a reach of the truth before it slipped away. The failure left a lasting mark, deepening her resolve and her guilt. Holly's relationship with her parents slowly stabilized, though it remained strained and distant. She saw them occasionally, usually over carefully arranged dinners. They continued to provide financial support, but emotional closeness was limited. William Wilder, no longer a public political figure, transitioned into a largely administrative role, a desk worker with reduced authority, though still retaining limited access to sensitive information when necessary. Holly neither fully rejected nor embraced connection. She simply kept it at arm's length. At what point her visit to her father's office led to her snooping through some documentation regarding her stolen vehicle. A name popped up with respect to the crime committed against her vehicle, Gage. Didn't know who the person was, and the documentation couldn't explain where they were being kept. By the end of 1989, Holly stood at an uneasy crossroads, no longer fully embedded in the community, not aligned with her parents' world, and living a double life between law, magic, and an unrelenting search for the friends she refused to give up on.
And now visiting the mansion when Holly's been gone for so long, she spies Alex looking across the hallway from her, and a mop of hair bounding into the room as Tiffany also has returned or been here the whole time. Why don't you tell us, Tiffany, what have you been doing for the last 2 years?
Tiffany never really got to tell her parents about herself because unfortunately the news coverage from the day of the mayoral election did that for her. And she hasn't been welcome in her childhood home since, which is a thing she does not like to talk about. So she'd already been spending most of her time at the X Mansion, but that was really the tipping point. She's been boarding there full time ever since. And the first year was really rough. Just like all of her friends, she's been very worried about Victor and Luna. And it just has become more and more apparent over time that they've been just completely out of reach. Um, she struggled to focus on school because she was still determined to finish a high school diploma, but she's never been a strong student. She squeaked through. An athletic scholarship's kind of out of the question, but she's not really sure if she wants to go to college anyway. It's really what her parents wanted for her. So that would have been a year ago that she finished school, and she has stayed at the X Mansion since. Tiffany really threw herself into honing her powers. She got a little bit more involved with the MLF, given that public sentiments are still pretty anti-mutants. Her parents know, so she doesn't really care anymore about that. Violence has really never been Tiffany's first instinct, and that hasn't changed. She's always been more comfortable as a scout or, finding information, planting information, saving people in trouble. To this day, she still doesn't sleep very well, even though the nightmares stopped after the election, which she has to assume means they did it. But she remembers how they felt. And there's a part of her that has remained hyper vigilant to the threat that they averted. Even though they kept Holly's dad out of office, there were a whole list of names behind him. It wasn't actually his plan. And those people are still out there. So research isn't her strong suit. She's been learning what she can, trying to keep tabs on their activities in case they try the same thing somewhere else. But she's stayed at the X Mansion and has really tried to embed herself in that community.
And so Tiffany's really been there as this beating heart within the mansion and seeing new people come in. And I guess this is very much so Tiffany's home now. And some of those people that she's seen or worked together with through different trials have begun to gather around her. One such individual had been gone up until very recently, and Marty Chong steps into that parlor with this strange reunion that you'd figure for being something the Beatles might do on top of a building. Marty, how have you been spending the last 2 years?
In 1988, Marty was turning 17 and pretty much finishing the high school. And there was no option of continued education for known reasons. There was no way university would accept them, even if their parents tried to use their influence. They kept their head down, helping where they could. It was manageable, predictable, and safe enough. And then Alex took them on one of the rescue missions, and it wasn't supposed to be dangerous. Well, it never was supposed to be dangerous until it was. One of the mutants they pulled out was gravely injured. Shock setting in fast. Marty did everything right. Every first aid technique, every ounce of their own ability poured out without hesitation. But it still wasn't enough. The mutant died in their hands. That was the moment something in Marty switched. They realized with awful clarity that goodwill and raw power just weren't enough. that wanting to save people did not mean you could, and that someday it just might be someone they loved. So, Marty did something they had avoided since arriving at the mansion. They went to Professor Xavier and asked for help. They didn't trust him. They couldn't trust someone who would step into their mind without asking, someone who's aware of other people's secrets but kept their own. But they needed his research, his resources, his influence. Marty asked for help finding a path forward, one that wasn't guesswork and desperation. They wanted to learn, to understand healing on every level: physical trauma, psychic damage, mutant psychology, physiology, how powers broke bodies and minds, and how to put them back together again. Xavier agreed. He assigned Moira McTaggart as Marty's mentor. Leaving the mansion was bittersweet, of course. But away from the noise, the pressure, the constant edge of conflict, Marty studied under Moira's guidance. Medicine, genetics, trauma response, the long-term effects of suppression tag and power overload. For the first time, healing felt like less of a panic and more like purpose. They kept in touch with their friends, but especially with Tommy. No phone calls, just letters passed back and forth. No promises, just warmth and reassurance. Marty let themselves believe that maybe when they come back, Tommy would be ready to try again. In September 1989, space folded open on Moira. Alex stepped through, familiar and impatient as ever. Pack your stuff, he said. You're coming home. Marty looked out at the water one last time before stepping through the portal. More mature, steadier, scarred in ways no one else knew, not even Tommy. They didn't know what waited for them at the mansion, but they knew one thing for certain now. Next time, they wouldn't be unprepared. That is
And
all.
perhaps it is at that moment as you step back into the mansion and Alex is beside you that you see Holly and Tiffany. And a precocious leech runs by, bumping against you as he giggles and makes his way through, followed by Artie, another child that Tiffany no doubt would have begun to know, having lived here the whole time. There's new faces.
Marty would like to stop Leech in his tracks and like, hey, Leech, hi, long time no see.
Marty,
Have
oh
you
my
seen Tommy?
god. Hello, welcome back.
Can you find Tommy for me? Tell her I'm back.
Yeah, oh wow, she's gonna be so happy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Don't tell her. I want to surprise her, okay?
Okay.
All right, don't go looking for her. I'll find her.
I'll be here.
Okay, you wait there. Right here, though. Wait, hold on. Where are you gonna wait? This is the hallway. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll be with my friends over there.
Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Bye. Artie, wait up. And Leech continues off on his adventure to find Tommy and not tell her the surprise that Marty has returned. But the four of you gather again in the parlor with the little triangle sandwiches. And do you have anything to say to one another?
How is everyone?
I'm good. You know, I've been here. Marty, it's good to see you back. You've been gone a while.
Oh yeah, totally. It's kind of surreal to see you guys again. Is everyone looks the same way? It's me asking. not Marty. Is everyone like has the same hairstyle, the same type of like outfit, whatever?
Tiffany's
No.
vibe hasn't changed that much.
Well, yeah, Alex changed a lot. He's a month away from being 20, so he's easily a few inches taller and probably 50, 60 pounds bigger.
Yeah, but you're also the one that I would see the most, just because of your powers. So it
That's true.
wasn't you would probably visit Marty every once in a while, so it wasn't such a big deal for me to see you change over time. How's Holly looking?
Holly looks tired, like exhausted, like she's been studying a lot. But you see that her way of dressing and maybe the way she does her hair is a little bit more serious. It looks less preppy high schooler and more preppy college.
Hey, Hal, you look
Hey, Mark.
slightly different. Should change your style a little bit.
Nah, just been busy. How was
Oh.
your trip away?
It's been very productive. I learned a lot about things.
Cool.
And as you're
So what's everyone doing here now?
Sorry, say it again.
Holly asked what you're all doing now.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought Marty was answering.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Tiffany will just sort of shrug and say, I haven't really left. We've seen each other when you've been here. I've just been, getting to know some of the newer kids and helping them. It was pretty disorienting when I first came here, so I guess it's been nice to give back a little bit.
It was good that you were always here, Tiff, whenever I came back. It made it feel like home.
Well, that's really nice to hear, actually.
And it takes a little while, but slowly a little blur of green runs back into the room, thwacks against the arm of one of the sofas, scampers over top of it, and tumbles onto one of the cushions and then bounces off and into Marty's lap. It's Leech. I found her. She's coming, okay?
Okay, thank you. Wow, you got heavier.
Yeah, well, I'm getting bigger.
Doing well? Yeah, you are.
Yeah, and then he reaches over you and grabs a palm full of the little sandwiches and stuffs them into his face. Oh, I'm gonna bring one for Artie too. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to turn the lights out or something?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Bye. Have fun. And then he leans over and he kisses Marty's cheek. It's really good to see you again.
You're very sweet.
Yeah, I am. Okay, bye. And he runs off. And as he leaves in a blur, a kaleidoscope rainbow of an individual who you had seen in the past with a muted series of pastels, but here, over the past 2 years, Tommy re-enters, having survived the Morlock experience and the mutant massacre, but also growing into her own self. Her colors are more vibrant and rainbow-ish less pastel. And briefly, you remember that time that you had gone out and she seemingly wilted and was drained of all color. You know that Tommy wears her feelings on her sleeve because her ability to maintain a cohesive three-dimensional experience and her colors are tied to her mood. And so you see this woman, this young woman, early 20s, come in. Marty, it's nice to see you again.
Marty stands up, unsure if they should go for a hug or what to do, and just stands there like a dork smiling. Surprise, I'm back.
Tommy doesn't hesitate. She moves in, steps forward, and pulls Marty into a hug.
Marty immediately pulls her super tight into a hug
Well, it's really good.
and whispers, I missed you.
I missed you too. Things have been different since you've been gone. Are you staying for long, or are you headed back to Moore Island?
I don't know yet. What do you mean different? In
Well,
what way?
I don't know. It's just a lot of new faces, but classes have been good. Tiffany and I had a science project last semester. That was cool. And
Oh, you work together.
yeah, it's different good. It's just, you know.
I needed
that's
the help.
Marty is giving Tiffany a look like, yeah, sure.
I wanted to. I wasn't really sure how to tell you this, but I've been committing a small amount of mail fraud, and well, she takes out from behind her a small bundle of letters that are bound together with twine. Clearly, it's a collection that, if you rifle through them, has been delivered slowly over time. You know, the mansion gets so much mail, and whenever I would see something for you, I would pull it aside, and, well, I didn't want them to get lost, but then my curiosity kind of got the better of me, and I may have read them, and you notice that the letters are all opened.
Oh, well, I mean, I would prefer that you would read them instead of Professor. And I'm sure he would, he would read them.
Well, that's exactly why
That
I did
depends
it.
on him.
Yeah. So I thought you'd want this, but I really think you should probably go see your mom.
My mom.
Yeah.
Marty takes the bundle of mail from Tommy's hands and starts just quickly scanning some of the letters, just the addresses, who it's from.
The letters are a collection, not just from your mother, but from your father as well. Either addressed, but from one of them or both of them. But you can tell when it's your father speaking. He calls you, his little baobang, and that warmth is absent from some of them.
Type?
Are they all what?
Are they like? Is it typed or is it handwritten?
They're handwritten. Yeah, it's the 80s. They're not certainly. Your father is a very busy man, but it appears that when he did write to you, he took the time. but a lot of these are from your mother, especially the more recent letters. They, it seems that your father has been having some business trouble, and there's an urgency to the last letter that your mother sends you, and it looks like it's dated only a few days ago. There's a desperation to it. Are you receiving these? Why aren't you getting back to us? We're in need. Please reach out. Please come see me.
And there's a frown on Marty's face and kind of troubling emotions. Both. Marty's thinking both about why would they reach out to me if they're in trouble? Why? I thought they didn't want to do anything with me, but
Seeing the expression on Marty's face change, Alex will ask, Mar, is everything all right?
I'm not sure. They, for some reason, want to see me.
Say the word. I'll have you there within 5 seconds.
Oh, thanks, but let me just see if it's actually necessary. I think I would rather give them a call or something.
So if you
Did they provide a location or a phone number or anything?
you probably have the number for the landline that is at your primary residence where you used to live. It's a hard habit to break, to have so ingrained the phone number that you attributed with home growing up. We memorize it, and then it tends to follow us along. So even years later, even in Scotland and your time away, you can still almost automatically dial that number.
I go to where the homes are in the mansion.
There's one in every room.
View.
You're in a parlor, baby.
Oh, wow.
There's in between, nestled fashionably in between two small pyramids of triangle sandwiches, and a pitch, a big pitcher, like a crystal pitcher of which is really too nice considering Leech is like crawling all over the furniture. Pitcher of lemonade is there. There is one of those fancy phones in its cradle that you'd have to pick up and be like, hello. You know, you just have to, because that's how that phone is.
I do exactly that. Otherwise it won't work, right?
That's right, it won't work. So when you do that and you start out that way and you say what?
Yeah, I dial the number.
Okay.
That automatically just comes up in my head, and wait for a response, if any.
So it's actually only one ring before the phone is answered, with an abruptness that you can hear. David, is that you? Hello?
It's me, Marty.
And on the other end of the line is your mother, Abigail Chan. Oh. Martina, darling. I'm so glad you're getting back to me. It's your father. He's in a lot of trouble. I've been trying you for so long. Thank God that you finally replied.
I was away. I just came back. What kind of trouble? Are you safe?
I'm packing. Your father went ahead. He's been pursued by that masked murderer that disgusting, god, terrifying devil.
Who? Who are you talking about? Give me the name.
We don't know his name. They say he has no fear. He never stops hunting you. Your father would wake up in a cold sweat, calling out in his sleep that the devil was coming for him. I don't know what that monster wants, but he is relentless. And even though Mayor Fisk had been adamant that the time of masked vigilantes is over, still this man, he haunts your father.
All right. So is Dad drives the same car with the cell phone in it?
Your father's not here anymore. I'm not going to be here much longer either. I'm very glad that you finally reached out, but we've had to flee the country. But Martina, darling, your father needs you. Please. You have
How do I find
extraordinary
him?
power.
Where is he right now?
He's in Madripoor.
Marty kind of flinches when she says extraordinary power. Kind of swallows the whatever comes to mind and does not respond to that, but instead, Madripoor, do you have an address, or how do I do phone number, anything? Do I just go and try looking for him?
No, of course. I will make sure that he, well, I'll facilitate tickets for you. How many tickets you need, if you let me know. And absolutely, there are accommodations. You know, we have assets all over, and Madripoor is where headquarters is, or one of them. So, we can furnish you with all of the information you need and the phone numbers and where to go.
Okay, accommodations are good. Honestly, I don't need tickets. I have other ways of getting there. But accommodations I'll take. 3 hotel rooms would be good.
We'll make sure you have 3 penthouse suites in the finest hotel.
Great. Awesome. All right, just I'm gonna give this number of the mansion, and if you cannot reach me, please just call this number and ask for Tommy. And Marty just looks at Tommy and winces at the thought that Tommy has to talk to their mother, even for a second. But at the same time, there's nobody else that Marty can trust, and especially that Tommy knows the situation as well. It's kind of a no-brainer to ask Tommy for help, but still the same. Never wanted to actually ask Tommy to deal with their mother. All right. So yeah. All right. The accommodations, and I can be there very soon. All right. When are you going there? Right now? When is your flight?
My flight is in several hours.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll meet you there in Madripoor. Okay.
Thank you. Marty. Thank you, Marty.
Marty kind of is taken aback by her sudden show of respect or don't even know what that was, but after a moment. See you soon, Mom. And hangs up.
The line disconnects when you hang up, and you find yourself in the aftermath of that conversation. What do you make of it?
Marty is still, even though they hang up, Marty still holds on to the handle. And without looking, I think I need your help, you guys. If you have time.
We always
I
got time
do.
for you, Marty.
What's going on, Marty?
Marty briefly explains the situation, which is not really clear what is happening specifically, but in whatever information their mother was able to give them, we will have 3 penthouse suits at our disposal in Madripoor, but at the same time, I have no idea what to expect. And I'm sorry, Alex, I kind of declined the tickets, the plane tickets, because I assumed that you will help us get there.
That is the safest assumption you could ever make.
You're too reliable. I'm getting spoiled. And
What's the point
then
of having these things if you can't use them to help the people you care about?
Marty touches Alex's shoulder with like if a face could say thank you, that would be the expression on Marty's face. And then turns to Tommy. Tommy, I have a big favor to ask of you. I actually never wanted you to meet my mom, but I told her if she has any more information or needs help to call this number and ask for you.
I mean,
Is
it's
that
not.
something that you're willing to do?
It's so something, yes, absolutely. Something that I would do for you. And she leans in and kisses you on the cheek.
Marty, although Marty was hoping for this, Marty did not expect it and just blushes and then catches Tommy's hand and squeezes it. And I don't want you to act on your own at all. Just tell professor or any of the teachers here if this is something that needs outside help or to get in touch with us while we're away. I'm gonna let you know the phone numbers that we get there as soon as we get there, and just stay safe. Don't go anywhere for her, okay? Just ask somebody else for help.
I'm in one of the
She's
safest places in the world. So I'm more worried about you staying safe, all of you.
no, don't worry about us.
Well, where are you going?
To Madripoor.
Madripoor.
You're going to Madripoor?
Okay, so a little aside, um, has Alex been? So for the 2 years, um, So from 84 or 85 to 87, while the home crew was doing their business while we were off in the future, Alex was traveling a lot. And then he's also now just done 2 years of Doctors Without Borders and whatnot. So that begs the question. I know I've been to the area, but have I been to Madripoor?
I don't think so, but I think you can
Yeah,
probably say safely. I think you mentioned that you've been to Tokyo, right?
definitely
So
been to Tokyo.
you could probably get a flight from Narita to Madripoor Airport. So that's probably as close as you've been.
All right. Well, upon Marty saying Madripoor and Alex goes Madripoor, he just like I can get us close, um, but I've never actually been to Madripoor.
Uh, that's close is great.
I can get us to Japan.
All right.
Are
And
the
Well,
plane
imagine
tickets still an option?
Tiffany
Oh.
asks a just question.
I'll dial back quickly. My mom and ask for tickets from Japan, actually. Tokyo is okay.
I know
uh,
several locations in Tokyo. Yes.
Like,
roll
can you?
a D100 or something.
Who, Alex or Marty?
Marty McFly.
D100.
Yeah, make it D100, girl.
Okay.
Roll for plane tickets. Yeah.
57.
So this time, you are honestly, this is like answering machines were not super common. So, like, you are there with the phone ringing for maybe a minute and a half, just pleading, God, please be home, because you probably can't afford these tickets. And so it's after a while, the other line picks up, and breathless, your mother saying, David?
It's me again, Mom.
Oh,
It's Marty.
you gave my heart a start. Uh, I was just about to leave, and then I heard the phone ringing, so I came back inside. The
Oh,
car's outside. Uh, are you all right? You're still
yeah,
coming,
yeah.
right?
Yes, everything is good. But a little, a little challenge in getting there. Just because it's Madripoor and it's not as uh prompt. It's not going to be as prompt as I hoped it would be. But can you get tickets from Tokyo there, like within, so that we can take a flight within next 2 hours?
You're go. Well, yeah. You want me to get tickets leaving Tokyo in 2 hours?
Yes.
Uh, darling, aren't you in New York?
It doesn't matter right now where I am. Um, from Tokyo would be great.
And you kind of like hear the dead air, the silence as she's trying to do the mental gymnastics of how is
For
the distance to Madripoor an issue, but it's not a problem to get to Tokyo in 2 hours. But eventually says, yeah,
Yeah,
I
don't worry
can
about it,
we can
Mom.
do
If I
that.
cannot make it,
We can make
I'll
it.
just
It's
ask somebody to like if you can e-transfer the money, I'm sure I can ask somebody else.
Now, Martina, I need you to be serious. I will get these tickets, but please don't tell me this is a practical joke. This is very serious.
I know it's serious. I did not expect there to be a flaw in my plan, and now I am asking for your help to deal with a slow flaw, Mom.
I'm just very grateful that you're helping. It means a lot. And I look forward to hugging you there. I won't be in Tokyo in 2 hours though, but in Madripoor. I'm very proud of you. I'll make it happen when you get to Tokyo in 2 hours. Yes, we should talk more. And that's my fault.
Marty is like absolutely confused and taken aback. Like, okay, Mom. Guess I'll see you soon.
Yes, we will. And then the line goes dead. And it's the 1980s, so you don't really know if this is going to happen or not. You'll have to go there and find out if the tickets are there for you.
We can come back if they're not.
That's right. You can always just come back and be like, you're on your own, Mom.
Well, if only we knew a millionaire.
Yeah. Where is that millionaire? Doesn't matter.
He's here. Well, not
Come on.
millionaire.
Probably billionaire. I don't know. It's really unclear how much money Professor Charles Xavier has. But one thing is clear. As the engines are thrumming along and the raft is making its way somewhere out in one of the oceans, question mark, it is clear to Luna Lovegood, as she is laying there or sitting there in the prison, that Professor Charles Xavier, for all of his money, did not spring her from prison. Luna, 2 years ago, you were arrested, you were convicted, and sentenced for murdering a police officer and causing violence. What have you been doing with your last 2 years?
Luna was only 15 when they locked her in a mutant prison. She felt exposed, powerless, scared. Her powers were her shield, and she couldn't use her shield anymore. Then she met Tatiana. It was an inmate, an older, calm, and unafraid. Tatiana saw potential in Luna. She was in the next cell. She became Luna's anchor in a place designed to break people. Tatiana taught Luna how to think before reacting, how to control fear, how to observe, and how to survive without her powers. She trained her mind, sharpened her instinct, and showed her that strength didn't always mean violence. When others tried to hurt Luna, Tatiana stepped in, sometimes with a mean look, but often with terrifying intellect, and no one dared to test Tatiana. Under Tatiana's guidance, Luna grew smarter, tougher, and steadier. Her fear loosened its grip. When Tatiana was transferred away, Luna stood on her own. She was no longer a frightened girl that they imprisoned. She used her wits, a newly found acting chops to manipulate fellow inmates and guards to get her way. Also, Luna managed to get a high school diploma behind the concrete walls, studying from worn textbook that were past their bars. She earned her credits under flickering lights, taking exams under guards watching her. Luna refused to let prison decide the limits of her future. When she received her diploma, there was no ceremony, no congratulations. Just a quiet certainty that even imprisoned, she had kept moving forward.
And perhaps that moving forward finds her out in the, well, out is the wrong word. You've been enclosed with no access to the sky, the stars, fresh air for the entire length of your stay here. But they approximate what would be a yard, where you are now out in a large open space where the general population of prisoners can walk around and do some calisthenics or some weightlifting. And it's in this mass of people, mixed gender, mixed race, mixed species, that you find yourself now. With you as well, although perhaps not immediately side by side with you, is Victor. And how has... Oh, sorry, not Victor, sorry. Gage, who has also been imprisoned for quite some time, and who you have begun to know, especially given Gage's connection with Victor, your longtime friend. Gage, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you've been doing since you've come to the Raft?
Gage is a 19-year-old. He is a registered techno who was convicted of election fraud and sentenced. He arrived at the Raft a few weeks before Victor and Luna, though he was unsentenced at that time. He essentially fills the role of a fictor in the Raft. He trades in contraband like Tylenol and other medicine, condoms, getting people chocolate, shampoo, deodorant, things of that nature. He's gamified the system. He works like the other inmates. He does mandatory work. He has gamified it and makes the highest rate at $3 a day, which is fairly negligible. So he's reliant on a commissary that's supplied by outside contacts to buy the things that he needs. And he's Victor's cellmate. He, when they arrived, did his best to help them. In the time that he's been there, he has managed to try to make outside contact twice, using his powers to connect to a telephone, which has resulted in punishment, as well as setting off the callers, which shocked them. But while he's in the yard, he's probably talking to people, making trades, schmoozing up the guards who he hates but still does transactions with.
And recently, your friend Victor had been removed from general population and put into solitary confinement. Victor, you are separated from the others and in that confinement. Tell me how the last 2 years of your life have been.
Victor has fared worse in the prison system than his friend Luna. Because of the nature of his powers, anytime he is injured, his shock collar enters a feedback loop that ultimately drains him of all his focus and leaves him unconscious for uh, days at a time. Every time that happens, he's punished by for setting the collar off by a stint in solitary. So he spent quite a bit of his time in solitary confinement. When he is allowed to be in the cell with Gage, he works to bake muffins for high school vending machines, making cents a day. The spider entity that gave him his spider powers, left him as he entered the raft. And recently, his original fire powers had begun to sneak back in, which resulted in setting his cell on fire, almost killing Gage, and earning him yet another stint in solitary. He can't work out like he used to, so he's lost significant muscle mass. He's generally had a very terrible time here. The only thing that's keeping him going is the thought that somehow one day he will get out and see his friends, but especially Alex again.
Also, add to that, Gage had tried to, because Victor is more vulnerable and cannot defend himself without his collar going off. Gage had tried to intimidate other inmates into leaving him alone or cajole them. But with 2 years, it would have become increasingly difficult or impossible.
It's after this most recent stint in solitary, because of the fire, that you perhaps have lost track of time for how long that you've been in solitary, Victor. With a screech, the metal of the door opens after a klaxon sounds to signal that the lock has been disengaged. It slides open, and one of the guards there, a man that is known as Monday, who's been a particular brute, crass, and especially cruel to you and to Gage, says, "Time's up, Flamer. Get out of there. Back to Gen Pop with you, sucker."
See you in a week.
Yeah. Maybe you'll set a new record this time and get thrown back in here. Don't plan on setting any other parts of the submarine on fire, do you? We need the oxygen. I know your dumb brain can't comprehend it, but maybe you could just try to keep yourself together. How's that sound?
I don't know. When are you working my block next?
What the hell? It would be so easy to just beat the hell out of you right now. Watch you dance on the floor till you're drooling and convulsing and...
Yeah, but I know you get some sick pleasure watching me try to navigate General Pop.
Exactly. I wouldn't miss this for the world, Vic. So, let's go, Blue Boy. Move on, then. Back to your friends. I bet you guys have missed each other so much.
Not as much as your mom misses me.
And he thwacks you in the back of your knee with a nightstick. What happens when he does that?
I don't feel anything except the collar starts to buzz, and it just drains my mental capacity. Physically, I'm fine, but within a minute, maybe a little more, I'm completely unconscious.
That's great. Why don't you go ahead and set your focus to 5 for me?
Okay.
And they drag you unconscious through the hallways, open up the gate to Gen Pop into the yard, and toss you inside. And the act of being flopped like a pancake in there in front of others and hearing the cacophonous sound of multiple inmates and multiple different activities simultaneously occurring briefly quiets as they notice that you've been deposited back into their cage like a steak, a juicy steak. But it's at that moment that you wake back up, and that Luna and Gage both recognize their friend has been deposited back into general population.
I move over to Victor, not wanting to appear too quick about it, but kneel down and check on him.
Okay.
Luna will also approach. And long time no see.
How long has it been this time?
2 weeks.
Honestly, none of us know what time it is, what day it is, what year it is.
Yeah.
I know where we are. Ish. So Gage's powers engage when they dock into a city. So he normally knows their last port. He gets electrocuted when that happens, but that doesn't tell him when it is.
So you are under the impression that the raft is somewhere around the Horn of Africa.
And he'll add, we should be around Africa. We just left South Africa.
I managed to sneak a book for you, Victor. I was holding on to it for a while. I was waiting for you to come out. I think you'll like it. She hands Victor a book, a small book, just a fiction.
I put on a pair of white cotton gloves so I don't get a paper cut when I open it up.
You become a real book learner, huh?
It's safe-ish.
Gage has not spent any time trying to get a diploma or much time in the library. He has just worked out. Unlike these two.
Well, I know you can't. Alex cannot work out, so Alex can exercise the same muscles as Luna have been exercising, her brain muscles, and just been supplying Alex with any books she can find. Sorry, not Alex, Victor.
When are these books gonna make me think better?
Oh, it's just entertainment.
Okay.
Does Victor feel smarter?
No. He doesn't feel less smart, which is a win.
What's the book on that she just handed him?
It's about a murder mystery. It's not very well written. It's one of those cheap murder mysteries. About some rich folks and, family drama and backstabbing. And honestly, it looks like it was found just it looks like it was printed in maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago. No, not very old, but book is not
Most of
in
the library, most of the library seems to be law textbooks, so I guess this is better.
yeah. Again, it's not very well written, but it is entertaining. Some pages.
Well, it seems like it's at my reading level, which is a plus.
Yeah.
You've been hearing rumors that a new onboarding was about to take place. This happens periodically when they're moving the inventory of people from one section to another within the raft, to try to balance the populations for who knows what reason. And it's always an exciting time because it often means that you're setting into port to acquire new prisoners, new people, and how they are introduced to the ecosystem, and what factions that they align themselves with, becomes a question of some discussion. One of the other guards, a woman by the name of Snigowski, comes up and taps Luna on the shoulder. Your time in the library is going to be up, I hear, when they're making changes to everybody's roster. So you're going to have to figure something out to study. Some of us were taking a bet that maybe your best place for studying would be done in the bathrooms. Maybe you could just focus on cleaning up everybody's shit. Hey, you could use those books.
I'm sure that'd be negotiable, Cage says.
Stagowski just
Knowing
looks up and down. What do you know?
Sometimes they make exceptions for inmates if they think someone's worth their time. Maybe she could be put to a clerical use.
Clerical. What's your typing speed, little miss?
My typing speed is pretty good. I did take typing class. My mom actually owned a typewriter.
Oh, okay.
One of those manual ones. I used to type on it a lot when it was my entertainment when I was little.
Where else in this shithole are you gonna find a secretary?
Huh. That's funny. You're always so funny. Yeah, looks like you're less clammy recently, huh? And when she says your name, she doesn't say your name. She names you your code. M dash, which one was it?
336.
M-336. M336, you little fuck. You're looking better now, huh? I guess you got the medicine that you expected?
I did.
Yeah, you did. And whatever Victor's number is, Snigowski goes over and just elbows Victor a little bit. Not painfully, just a gentle tap. And we're not going to forget that, are we?
You won't let me.
That's right. Well, don't you worry your pretty little head about it for much longer, Smurf. We're going to have ourselves a settling of accounts. But I should probably take what you're saying seriously about your little stenographer friend here. So we do have a typewriter over where Taylor is. So why don't you come with me and you show me how fast you can type? And she grabs Luna by the bicep and takes her out of the yard and over
And I
towards the
say
watch
to-
station. Sorry, go ahead.
I say to Victor, I think that she's one of the least worst ones here.
Because they were her a favor.
Luna complies.
And as they're talking and discussing which one of these guards is worse, Stagowski takes you over and actually takes you into the guard station, and you can actually see controls and security cameras and get a sense for how intensely monitored you all are. Taylor's sitting there watching TV instead of paying attention to the cameras that are in the yard, because he doesn't really care what happens to the inmates in the yard. Not unless it's going to affect him in some way. Snagowski says, here's the typewriter. I'll be right back. And then another security guard named Norman comes in. She's stockier. Looks like she's got a snarl on her face. And she says, yeah, come on here. Take a look. Let's see how fast you are. And she pulls out a stopwatch. And are you ready? And go.
Ready.
And make me a
Tap.
logic roll. Non-combat, of course.
I have Deal Maker, which gives an edge on action checks to make deals. Could Luna use that edge on her logic roll?
That's a great idea, yeah. Whoa, what we got there? We have a 23. Let me put that back.
Use that for edge.
Edge. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I did not use edge.
Oh, this goes over here. There we go.
I don't remember how to use edge. One moment. Sorry, how do I add edge again?
So you should
just re-roll.
Just re-roll one of the dice. You should be able to. I mean, a 23 is really good. So the only thing better than that would be a fantastic success.
Oh, so I would re-roll a 5. Okay,
Middle.
1 moment.
Oh,
Okay.
didn't help. Still a 23.
Yep.
I'm just going to make this a little wider. There we go. Still, 23 is an excellent roll. And so you're clacking along quite quickly and hitting the return bar, and you feel like you're making a good impression, and so you don't really notice when the nightstick flies down and cracks against your fingers as they are typing away. Crack, crack, crack. And she repeatedly smacks you on your delicate fingers and roll a d10 for how many are broken. Three. So she's broken 3 of your fingers, and she laughs and chuckles, and they drag you out and take you away to your cell. Snagowski comes back and looks over and witnesses you being taken away and the state of maybe you're favoring your fingers, and she gets this kind of brief look on her face, like she finds it distasteful, but quickly resumes her bravado, her posture, and her composure of being on board with everything that's happening to the people here. She steps over to Gage and Victor. Don't make a big deal out of this, okay? Just remember, Victor, that I'm going to give you the signal. I'm going to tell you what to do, and you do it without question.
As long as it doesn't break one of my terms.
Yeah.
We agreed on that much.
Your terms?
Gage just looks between them because he doesn't know what the terms of this deal.
I don't hurt anyone, I don't snitch, and I don't do intimate stuff.
You're not my type. And, yeah, that's... Fuck. I'm not looking to cause trouble for you or your friends. There's just... You're not the only ones trying to survive here.
Yeah, I get it.
You should check on your friend, but I think she's being hauled off. You can check in with her later, but...
What happened to her?
I don't really know. The typewriter's smashed to shit. I don't know. Maybe she got out of line, said something smart. You know how...
Have you met her?
Well, yeah. She definitely mouthed off then.
She's a good kid.
Yeah, that's why she's here, right? Because she was a good kid? Give me a break. I understand your terms. When it's time, you'll know.
Okay.
Gage.
Yeah.
We got something in commissary for you. It looks really good.
All right. He'll head over to check it out.
When you make it over to commissary, you see a package. It's always addressed WF. And it's always well read. There's a letter. It's quite professionally written with nice ink, and it is well spoken. The presentation is always within the limits of what is acceptable here. Quite fine. And as usual, when you open it, there's maybe 2 items left and the rest have been taken from you. The one that's there is in its usual place. Beneath the lining of the box, there is some cigarettes that you can use as currency. And there's a note saying that funds have been placed into your commissary account as usual.
Excellent.
And there were what was supposed to be a dozen packs of instant noodle ramen, but they have largely been taken from you, and there's only 2 that remain.
He'll take the ramen. And he'll honestly just take one of the cigarettes and start smoking it now. It wasn't a smoker before, but given that it's the 80s and something like 75 to 80% of the group incarcerated or smokers, he's picked up the habit. And he didn't emote much in the yard, but he is a bit stressed about the fact that he sent Luna off and they fucked her up somehow. He thought it was just a good thing. So yeah, he'll have a cigarette and he'll take his stuff and try to take his ramen back to his room without getting strip searched and getting it taken from him. And put his notes in order.
And from there, you're back in your cells. For now, at least, Victor is returned to your cell with you, Gage. And we advance to another location where, after a brief layover, where you teleported to the outskirts of Tokyo and made your way to the airport, you receive first-class tickets, the group of you who are not trapped beneath the waves in the raft, and you make your way to the shining, brilliant neon city that is Madripoor. Madripoor is an island nation in Southeast Asia. It's primarily based on 2 general senses of the town. Around all the outskirts and around the docks, there's, I think it's called Lowtown. And then there's the High Town, which is topographically higher up, but also where all of the big businesses, all the wealthy establishments. It's very much industrialized, commercial, low-rise shanty town in low town, and then high town is Manhattan, basically. When you land, you land off to the outskirts and low town, and are taken by cars that have been provided for you, airport limousines, bulletproof, and you are driven through the factories that manufacture innumerable toys that you would find on the bottom of many toys from many different locations, dollar stores and more, that would say made in Madripoor. And these are the locations where that takes place. As you snake through this rather tense neighborhood and make your way through gates into Hightown, the tension remains. This is a nation that is essentially a megalopolis. It's one city pretty much across the entire geography of the land. and it is Madripoor is the name of the city and the name of the city-state, the nation. This is a famously dangerous country known for its refusal to comply with any extraditionary measures from any other nation's law enforcement agencies, which of course makes this an extremely appealing place for criminal activity to thrive. That isn't to say that everyone on Madripoor is a criminal, just that the crime rates might even show that it's very low, but that might be because crimes are often not reported here. This is a very corrupt, plutocratic city-state. And as you're driving through, you are deposited at a very wealthy, a very tall, wonderful building. And on top of that building, Marty, you see your family name. It is Chong Tech. This is a building that is the Southeast Asian headquarters for your father's organization, which is essentially your family inheritance. It's the way that your family has had comfort for so long. That industry is large and very focused on import exports and technology, cutting edge kind of things, but always at a discount. And as you're taken in and up to these penthouse apartments that exist on top of this building, with a ding, the elevator opens up and you are deposited into a common space that looks incredible. There are sakura trees in the middle of an open courtyard space and a quad of luxury penthouse suites on the roof of this structure. Hard to describe, really, but they are separate apartments. 3 that you requested, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one, ostensibly where probably your father is staying. As you enter into this indoor-outdoor penthouse situation with sakura trees and cobblestones and little benches, waterfalls and ponds, this, I don't know, 100-story up location, amidst a skyline of lights and neon. You see your father, David Chung, sitting at one of these benches and just looking down at the still water of one of the ponds that's there. He breaks off a little piece of something and throws it into the pond. Ripples occur as the fish that are in that pond come to the surface and gobble down one part of the of that food that they've been given. And go ahead.
I signal to my friends to just wait for me, and I head toward my father by myself. And I'm not trying to be sneaky or anything. I actually want to, make some noise so he's not surprised or scared by somebody's approach. Father?
Oh, Marty. Hello. He stands up and he winces, and you can see that he's favoring his side. Come here, come here.
Mom, I called mom, and I move in closer, and she was saying that you're in trouble, so I brought some friends here, and she arranged for us to stay. Do,
Oh,
do you need help? What's happening? Have you been injured?
I have, yes.
And and I immediately start like assessing, like with medical expertise, with like, just let me see.
Perhaps we can go inside. They're all welcome to come. And
Okay, sure.
he
Let's go
leads
inside.
you all into his penthouse apartment. You can see that in this area, as you spend more time here, there are a lot of men in black suits with thin black ties and assault rifles, submachine guns, Uzis, just standing guard. And this is the first time, really, that you've truly gotten a sense for the scale of your family's wealth and your father's business efforts. And seeing this many well-armed security guards might come as a bit of a shock to you. He leads you into a large open space, and he begins to unbutton his expensive shirt, takes his jacket off, places it onto a hook, and then begins to remove his shirt. You can see that he's bandaged, and on his abdomen on the left-hand side, there's dark red where the dressing has been absorbing the injury.
Marty sighs and starts unraveling the bandages. Just bear with me. I actually did some medical training. Can you believe it?
I do.
And
I'm impressed. I'm glad that you were able to continue your studies given everything that you've experienced.
yeah. And Marty would like to assess what kind of injury that was. Perhaps I can tell what object it was. What object was used to
Oh, I
deal
like that
damage.
idea. All right. So, why don't you make me, I guess, a non-combat logic roll?
Logic. Oh, that's not great.
That
Result is 8, but 6 on the marble.
does
Do I have
any
inspiration?
Sure, I like the idea that you asked that question. That you were your first focus wasn't how can I heal him maximum, was
Mhm.
what hurt him. So
Yeah.
why don't you roll that with edge?
I mean, he's clearly not in danger of like losing his life. So, and my mom wasn't helpful at describing who's following him. So at least I can, you know, get some information by just looking at stuff. Edge means I can reroll 1 die.
That's right. Yeah, I would recommend you reroll one of the ones. Let me go back over to this so you can see 161.
Reroll. Oh, better. 12.
So it takes you a moment, actually, as you're looking at this, and you're initially confused. This is a puncture wound, really plain and simple. You've seen this a lot before, more than you probably should have in your short life. But what's really interesting about this is that you would expect a certain shape or keenness to something if it was a knife, but this puncture wound looks more rounded and blunt, less sharp. It's still fine in a point, but it's as if a
A claw?
cylinder had been, like a thin cylinder had been pushed inside his abdomen.
Like a bullet? Or bigger?
You'd think that maybe this is the kind of wound a bullet from like the Civil War might have made from, like a ball bearing from a musket. And you also notice on left and right of this wound, offset by a number of inches, seem to be what's the word I'm looking for? Symmetrical bruises that are similarly blunted. Like there were, like as this inserted, there were two similar points that prodded against, but didn't quite break the skin, but hit hard enough to have left a very localized spherical bruise.
Like somebody harpooned him or something?
Maybe. It's hard to tell. You definitely find that this is an unusual wound. It was that damn devil.
Devil? Mom kept saying the same thing, devil. She said, you don't know the name. What is he using? Some kind of weird weapon or something?
I didn't see it exactly. But yes, a weapon, yes. His talents, his martial arts were incredible. But there is a ruthlessness I didn't expect. I had thought when I had heard of this devil of Hell's Kitchen that it was some superhero wanting justice, doing things above board, but that's not the way this devil operates.
Superhero? I thought maybe somebody hired an assassin to kill you, but superhero?
Exactly. He's not a hero.
Any New Yorker who knows what they're talking about, Hell's Kitchen, are you talking about Daredevil?
Yes. Yes, that's the very same. Who are you?
Oh, this is Alex.
Hey, Mr. Chong. Yes, I'm Alex.
I think I don't know if you've met. So this is Holly. I don't know if you remember her.
Yes.
We're
I
all
do.
in the same class.
Yes.
Back in high school, we were all in the same school and the same class.
Holly, I believe I've seen you on the news recently as well. My condolences to your father for not winning the campaign.
And this is Tiffany.
Tiffany?
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I wish it would be under better circumstances, but I will, if you don't mind, put my shirt back on. And perhaps we can have some tea.
So Marty allows him to put his shirt back on after changing bandages, and then lightly taps him on the bruised areas and puts in healing hands.
And how does healing hands work again?
So I'm just trying to figure out, do I have to Okay. So the character can heal a target creature within touch. For every point of focus the character spends, the target regains a point of health up to their maximum score. The character must spend at least 10 focus to use the power. Any health points that would have been healed beyond the target's maximum health are lost. So it kind of one by one. So I need to spend 10 focus. So I'm spending 10 focus, and that means 10 points of healing. So just the minimum I can do.
Okay, so as you do that, the result is almost immediate. You've become increasingly skilled with this, and this is the first time that your father has seen your powers that he obviously hoped would be sufficient to help him, but he had never felt it like this, and so his surprise is evident as the wounds go away, and he breathes much easier. Oh, my little bow bun. That is truly incredible.
Told you I was studying.
I don't doubt it. And had we only known, had we not misunderstood
let's not
you.
discuss the past right now. Let's not do it now.
You're right.
So
You're
we were talking about tea. Let's have some tea.
Tea would be excellent. Yes, please. Take a seat, and we'll talk about this daredevil, as you call it, Alex. I hardly think it's daring to chase me halfway across the world.
Why would he do such a thing?
He has some wrong-headed ideas. He means to kill me. But I assure
Is
you,
it personal?
It seems
Or business
very
related?
personal. My business often takes me into legal gray water. It would not be the first time that my shipping interests would be investigated by one of these vigilantes, but that's not what's happening here. This daredevil was relentless. Night after night, wherever I went, he would follow. I made additional changes to my security, and yet it made no difference. Dozens of men have been maimed permanently, some of them dead. We reached out, but we hadn't heard back from you, and it was understandable after the way we left things, but we didn't know where to turn. So I came to Madripoor. Your mother is soon to follow. She was remaining, hoping that she would be able to contact you, hopefully, and it seems that she was right. But
Yes.
I trust this problem will stay in the United States, in Hell's Kitchen, but I was not in Hell's Kitchen at any point in time when this devil attacked, and I don't know why. I was hoping that you all might help me find out, more importantly, protect me from this.
Alex takes a look at all the armed guards, takes a look at Mr. Chong, and then takes a look directly to try to meet Marty's gaze, and looks them directly in the eye, and there's a bit of a head tilt.
Marty
Doesn't
kind
say
of shakes their head, like trying to say not now.
And Alex will give the subtlest of nods that only two close friends that have spent a lot of time together would notice or recognize.
The tea is served, and you can all join for tea and a meal. And we'll return beneath the waves to the raft. It's later that day, and true to the word, there is a change of occupancy taking place. You are all delivered back into the yard where you're requested to line up essentially around the edges and make sure that everybody is visually accounted for, and the security is tighter during these times. The doors klaxon and open, and a number of older people enter in. Not old is the wrong word. Bigger, stronger, scarier, more experienced, but able-bodied. There's...
So,
go ahead.
A question. So normally what happens, you come within the bounds, Gage will take the shock and connect with the city, if it's a new city, regardless, and see if he can command anything. Should I assume that he has not been in a private place to do that yet?
You should assume that you attempted to do that or are attempting to do that now, and you're not reaching any city. This is unusual because, as we discussed before, an influx of new prisoners typically takes place when you go to a port and then you receive new people. And in this case, instead, you don't sense any city, but I'd like you to take 5 focus damage for even trying. You sneaky monster.
Sorry, continue.
So, a number of different inmates are let in, and there's murmurs going throughout the crowd. There's something off about this. Something seems unusual even for the kind of crazy things that occur here. And when you catch a glimpse of purple among the faces in the crowd, the realization begins to set in. It takes a moment to really become aware of it, and Snagowski, goes over and stands beside Victor, although separated by chain link fence or something, I'm not sure. You're going to be ready for it. Time is soon, okay? We're playing to your terms. We just act when I tell you. Okay. And as these individuals are being filtered in, it's very clear now that these are full-on adults being put into what you've typically been in, is like a juvenile delinquent environment, such as it is. You're still in the same maximum security prison, but you can hear over the loudspeaker, enjoy your new best friends, everyone. You have visitors from the adults' side. So kids, make sure you behave properly because these are some real killers. And once they filter in, you see one of them already has something in his hand. He has what appears to be a soft drink cup with a straw, and the straw is between his lips. Not that you can see his lips. All you see is a purple mask, and he's just sipping through a straw in a little hole that seems to be cut between the lips, around the area where his mouth would be. And you may not recognize this individual, but as soon as this man enters, the dynamic begins to shift. A lot of the white prisoners suddenly stand up and shift over and all sit beside and around this individual, who sits himself comfortably at one of the benches and just continues sipping his soft drink as he watches. This is Baron Zemo. And we'll end there tonight.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So it was the first day back. Thank you everybody for joining us. We will be back in Madripoor and on the Raft next Wednesday. Now that we're after the holidays, I hope everybody had great holidays. We are regularly scheduled every Wednesday. So please stay tuned for more X-Men Mutant Proud. We're so proud to be playing together and playing for you as well. Thank you so much for joining. Fuzzy on the details. Love your channel. Everybody should be subscribing, following Fuzzy on the details. Really great stuff. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you again.
Don't forget to raid.
Don't forget to raid. Oh, I was totally going to forget to raid. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Who be raiding? How are we gonna do that? I remember there's a raid button, and this is cool. Let's raid these people. I like raiding other tabletop RPG people, so we're gonna raid McStabber Studios. That's a funny name, and it looks like they're in the middle of a game.